So a few nights ago, Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, did something pretty shocking. At a small pro wrestling event in Los Angeles, he punched a man over 20 times in the face after already having knocked him unconscious with a body slam. Bystanders eventually pulled him off, but by then the victim was already choking on his own blood and teeth. He's now in critical care. And the wildest part? This all happened at a pro wrestling event. You know, those things where everything's supposed to be fake. So one of the first questions is, why did he do this? Well, we can take a pretty good guess because the whole thing was actually streamed live by Raja Jackson himself and parts of it by his dad, Rampage Jackson. And when you trace all of the events leading up to that night, it starts to look like a perfect storm. A concussion, a huge misunderstanding, the wrong kind of hype man, and a live stream chat full of trolls rage baiting him into what could be argued as attempted. It's like a real-life episode of Black Mirror. But kind of weirdly, one of the main questions that people are debating is, should Raja go to prison? Most say yes, obviously. It looks like premeditated, attempted, while others surprisingly say no, pointing to brain trauma and bad influences. Even UFC fighters like Sean Strickland and Chael Sonnen are defending Raja. So let's break it down. The whole story starts with a beer can. Backstage at the wrestling show, Raja gets hit in the head with a beer can. At first, it just looks like an unprovoked attack, but we later learn that the guy who hit him in the head with a beer can supposedly thought that Raja was a worker. A worker is a term for somebody who's actually part of the wrestling show, one of the actors. So when he saw the cameras rolling, he decided to make a bit out of it. In the video, you can even hear him asking Raja if he's gonna sell it.
You don't sell it?
Yeah. No, he's not a bro.
Selling it means like making a drama out of it, acting like it hurt. But after he's told that Raja is not a worker, he tries to apologize multiple times and shake Raja's hand.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know.
Eventually, Raja accepted the apology. Or so we thought. But actually, this whole story is just one version of the inciting incident. Later, a man named AJ, who will come into play very shortly, had a different recollection of the events.
I'm telling the whole truth, like it or not. And if you don't like it, pull up, bitch.
He was not a worker. He knew that beforehand.
Regardless of what led up to this, we know that they decided to turn this into a storyline as part of the wrestling show. Raja would get his payback in the ring, but it was supposed to be mostly fake. At most, just a single real punch to the face.
He always think that we're working over here, like it's part of the storyline. Run in and that motherfucker up in the mat. You know, ready for that?
Yeah.
He thought he was a pro.
I understand.
So when you run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is?
That's a receipt, bitch. That's all the I told Raja to do.
Give him that receipt, don't tag his shit. If you got a problem with it, I'll run out there.
In wrestling slang, a receipt is whenever somebody accidentally or purposefully hurts you, you get them back. But then it just continually escalated. Even his dad, Rampage, called him out on the live stream.
Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tight? No.
What?
Meanwhile, Raja's chat is egging him on non-stop. Raja starts talking openly about his exact plan for revenge.
How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. Watch, my dad can't never call me a bitch and tell me to fake him. They say I can hit him for real. This nigga ain't no fighter, but I'm gonna really have to show him. W, if you wanna see me, you wanna see if I can pick him up. W.
So at this point, it's not just a heat of the moment reaction. He's narrating his intentions live. If you've ever seen a pro wrestling show, you know the line between fake and real violence is kind of blurry sometimes. When Raja picked him up, body slammed him, and started punching him, at first, it seemed like nobody even knew what was really happening. And part of the reason why nobody seemed to step in immediately might be because of the bystander effect. The bystander effect, or bystander apathy, is a social psychological theory that states that individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim in the presence of other people. The theory was first proposed in 1964 after the murder of Kitty Genovese, in which a newspaper had reported that 37 bystanders saw or heard the attack without coming to her assistance or calling the police. Much research, mostly in psychology research laboratories, has focused on increasingly varied factors, such as the number of bystanders, ambiguity, group cohesiveness, and diffusion of responsibility that reinforces mutual denial. Add in the fact that pro wrestling's whole point is to sell fake violence, and you can see why it took people a moment to realize this wasn't part of the act. And that's why watching this video later in the comfort of your own home, it seems like it took forever for anybody to step in. Even though in reality, the situation unfolded in seconds. But it was too late. These punches weren't WWE chair shots. This was real. There's a book called Meditations on Violence that talks about the difference between social and predatory violence. Social violence, often involving the monkey dance, posturing, and ritualized violence that slowly escalates into actual physical violence, is usually to gain status or to prove a point. Predatory violence is purposeful, planned, designed to destroy, like robberies, assaults, and murders in cold blood. And what Raja did feels like a disturbing mix of both. He wanted to prove something socially, but once the guy was out cold, he just kept going. And that's where I think it crossed into something much darker. It's weird because we're used to seeing knockouts and these types of hard punches in MMA fights. But in those, the thing is that we all agreed on the rules, and the refs are ready to step in immediately when somebody can no longer defend themselves. But Raja landed more than 20 clean punches on a defenseless man. The first person to intervene was just 17 years old. Brave, but no match for Raja. Finally, a man named Doug jumped in to save his friend. And honestly, he may have just prevented a because Raja showed no signs of stopping. Doug walked away with a cut eye and stitches. The victim, meanwhile, was left in a pool of his own blood and missing teeth. Police got a call around 9 p.m. for attempted murder. Later, this incident was officially classified as felony battery. In California, battery causing a serious bodily injury is classified as a wobbler, meaning it can be either a misdemeanor or a felony. If it's a felony, that's up to 4 years behind bars. The law defines serious bodily injury as anything that seriously impairs a person's physical condition, like loss of consciousness, a concussion, fractures, organ impairment, or wounds requiring major stitches. And this incident checks multiple boxes. As of the time of recording this, no arrests have been made. And Raja's response? Whenever he was told that the victim had, quote, flatlined in the ring, he said this.
My bad.
The victim, whose real name is Stuart Smith, aka Psycho Stu, is a military veteran with PTSD. He got into wrestling as a way to readjust to civilian life. Right now, he's in critical condition, and although his brother posted that he's conscious and talking, he's far from recovered. They also set up a GoFundMe, which you can donate to here. The link is in the description. Doug, the man who pulled Raja off, has been vocal since the attack.
I just went in there to stop it first, you know, because I was kind of in shock. I saw Stu, I saw the punches, it felt like slow motion. I'm looking around, I'm looking at Stu's friends staring at me, not running in. I'm only running in. Somebody f***ing pinned Stu after he almost got beat to death. People are so chicken shit that they don't understand violence. They don't understand what's going on. They don't want to partake in anything. They weren't willing to save their friend. They would rather worry about their own image, their self, their match, or this. Sometimes the world stops.
He also criticized AJ for fueling the situation.
I think the premeditation part comes on the side of AJ Mana. You brought somebody that was volatile, that you knew had issues.
So real quick, that's the friend of Raja who brought him to the...
That's the small calf, small ass, chicken legs bitch with the cowboy hat.
But AJ has said this incident also ruined his life. He actually lost his job because of it.
For those that are offended at the fact that I just told the truth, f*** you. Because now my fucking life is ruined over your lies!
Even Rampage Jackson seems stunned, posting later that he does not condone this incident. So why did Raja do this? Well, this is all just conjecture at this point, but I see a few possible contributing factors. Maybe it was partly due to the concussion he got before the show. He received a spinning kick to the head in MMA practice, leaving him with a traumatic brain injury, which is a huge deal. And most people don't know that there are a lot of crazy symptoms associated with concussions.
How does my head feel? I'm still f***ed up. I'm not even gonna lie. I was throwing up and shit.
Anger and irritability are important and persistent clinical problems following traumatic brain injury, aka TBI. But these are just emotions that somebody can manage, so should we take away the blame from Raja because of this? Or was it part of some weird, twisted, alpha male Gen Z live stream culture? A world where your chat dares you to push boundaries for clout?
This is sort of the image that all these young men coming up think they need to portray themselves as. The fucking tough guy, the alpha male. Nobody talks shit about me. Nobody disrespects me.
Or was it just a young, insecure fighter living under the shadow of his father, ready to snap at any moment? Or worse yet, was it because of what happened to his mother?
This don't got nothing to do with nothing that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered.
The truth is, it could be a mix of all the above. Raja Jackson is in his mid-20s with an amateur MMA record of 4 wins and 0 losses, but he had a tough pro debut loss. He's also the son of one of the most intimidating fighters of all time, Rampage Jackson. And of course, I don't know their relationship personally, but Rampage does seem to give his son a lot of shit. And when it's all on camera, in the limelight, that pressure can be heavy. Mix in brain trauma, a live stream chat, and a bunch of ego, and you get this nightmare. So, should he go to jail? On one hand, he live streamed his intentions and followed through with his actions. And clearly, those actions meet the standard of battery with serious bodily injury in California. On the other hand, some big names argue otherwise. Sean Strickland posted a long defense, saying prison ruins young men and rehabilitation should always come first. He even admitted he could have become a himself if he'd been sent away instead of getting anger management and restitution as a teen. Chael Sonnen also defended Raja, though personally it felt more like PR for Rampage Jackson than anything else.
While they were very stiff shots, not what we would call a working shot, it did not appear that Raja had lost his temper.
Either way, this story is still developing and more details are coming out every day. But for now, I want to hear what you think in the comments. And just to be clear, I think Raja should be sent to prison. But if anything, this is a warning for everybody. We live in a world that's starting to look more and more like an episode of Black Mirror. A world of clout, ego, and rage baiting. And sometimes that pressure cooker doesn't just create drama. It almost creates a